In her freshman season with the ASC softball program, Carly DeLorenzo recorded 22 stolen bases, also had 6 triples, which was third in the entire conference, tied for first with ASC, and became a staple in the number 2 order for the ASC softball team that was one pitch away from an NCAA tournament bid. With season number 2 approaching quickly, the leadership role is now upon you. And Carly, there's a lot of expectations for this season. It really seemed like your year turned around when you went to Greeley, played Northern Colorado, had a huge triple, and took off from there. What was it about that game and that week that kind of led to your resurgence?
I think it was just stepping up to the plate. We were all really excited for that game, just playing like a D1 school, and we just all got pumped up and we're really ready for it. And that just turned around our whole season. Like from there, we just kept on going to RMAC and took second there and lost in the last out. So that was a bummer, but I think we're going to do really good this year.
Of course, there was a lot of familiarity between you and the Northern Colorado program, a school you thought you were going to attend, didn't work out, and of course things are looking quite promising at ASC. When you're playing an old coach in a setting that you're familiar with, what does that do to your focus and your energy when you're on the field?
I mean, it steps it up. I mean, you always want to beat your old coach or something, or the people that you play with. You always want to kind of show them, like, hey, we're doing good here. So show them up a little bit. So it was a really good game.
Well, this year, just from what we've seen in preseason expectations, top 4 in the conference. You have the conference POY for the second straight year in Kalen Lovato. Your offense looks absolutely unstoppable right now. When you're stepping to the plate and you have Caitlin in front of you, Becca Lindquist behind you. You have a transfer who hit .555 at Lamar last year, and Brittany Richens. It just must feel like teams cannot get you out. What is it like when you're looking at the lineup knowing there's so much power and pop behind you and in front of you?
It's really exciting, actually. Like, we have a really good with, like, Brittany and Caitlin coming back and Becca behind us. So the whole point is all of us, for like Caitlin and Brittany and I, to get on base, and then Becca step up with her RBIs all the time and hit us in.
It's Carly DeLorenzo, the ASC softball team. It's a unique dynamic you have because you have a lot of veterans who have been successful, but it is apparent that the future is bright with you and Caitlin, and you have underclassmen who have become such a feature, a face of the program almost. What's the approach to balancing kind of the delicate art of listening to your upperclassmen, realizing they've played longer, but also knowing that you and Caitlin and some of the younger players are the future of the program?
Well, we have a lot of leadership on our team, so it helps a lot. But knowing that, like, we keep getting, like, better and better freshmen coming in, like, it's really exciting to see that. But we also need to still listen to our leaders since they have been there before and they know a lot more than us. So it just helps out.
The non-conference schedule is much more, I think, inviting this year than it was last year. Sure, you have the trip to South Dakota could happen against Black Hills, but really the crossover is in Pueblo. The non-conference games are regional at Eastern New Mexico and against West Texas A&M and Canyon. Last year, it felt like there were almost 3 or 4 seasons within one. How long the non-conference schedule was. Just thinking about how you had to adjust your freshman year to playing that grinding and grueling of a schedule. What makes this non-conference schedule more appealing this year?
Well, we don't have to drive 17 hours to Minnesota, so that's always nice. It's only 2 hours to Pueblo, but we're still playing the top teams from there, and so we'll get good looks before we go to conference.
Conference this year is going to be feisty. I mean, Regis, of course, Coach Tramboli, played under Durbin, and there's the connection from a coaching relationship between those two. They're one of the favorites. Metro, of course, still unhappy that they were popped out of the tournament early in Golden. And there's, of course, the issue with Colorado School of Mines that they are still unhappy that you beat them twice on their field last year to bounce them. There are some awesome rivalries that have been restored that you've taken a part of in your first year, just to see how feisty those 3 teams are with you and that you are now considered in the same classification as them. What added excitement comes from knowing that there are 3 teams that are just always gunning for Adams State?
It's really exciting. It's exciting to know, like, we are one of the teams to beat, and we do have those rivalries that I didn't really know about. Like, Mines game, like, that's a tough team, and so is Metro and Regis, like you said. So it's really exciting to go to Denver and play them in conference.
It's Carly DeLorenzo with the ASC softball team, someone who, of course, always has a unique level of fan support at all events with your mom, Patricia, and your dad, Phil. And, of course, there's a lot of tears in the ASC offices knowing that this is probably the last lineage of a DeLorenzo playing at Adams State. It goes back 3 decades. Really, you're a third-generation ASC athlete. Just looking at the relationship of your family to this school, how aware of it were you when you walked in? And after a year, how special is it?
I wasn't that aware of it, I don't think. I think I was surprised at how connected my family is in this town. But it's really fun to know people, elders that know my dad, or coaches here that know my mom and my brother and my sister, everyone. So it's really cool, and they always support, so it's fun.
I mean, I was late to so many football games this year, just going to the RV party that your parents were there. I got to admit, I mean, that thing is unbelievable. What was your first RV experience with your family?
My parents, they always have a big crowd with all their friends, because a lot of people that live around here always come to the football games. And, of course, they know my parents because they're talkers and with the big RV. And so they always have a big party, and it's really fun for the football games.
Just knowing that, your brother is third now in tackles all-time at Adams State, and what he accomplished, your brother Rocco, your mom being a 3-time All-American, your dad being a part of some incredible ASC football teams in the 80s, and now looking at what you accomplished your freshman year, what does the motivation do, knowing that your family has been so successful? How does that affect you and in your pursuit of excellence at ASC?
It sets my standards up pretty high, because with my brother, of course, with all of his academic awards and sports awards, but anyways, but I said the wrong word. But it really steps it up. You always want to try and beat him out or go up to his level and my parents' level, so they have high standards.
Just in terms of how mature you are on the field, I mean, one thing that I noticed with you last year, you don't really get caught up in any of the in-season drama, any of the stuff that maybe happens with a team, and you're pretty tough, as we found out at Northern Colorado, when you just took out an infielder, and
It wasn't on purpose.
It wasn't on purpose, but it was one of those things where you get up, shake it off, wipe the dirt off, and say, "Let's go." It just, you have almost like an approach that your brother would have. It is a very almost masculine approach on the field of how you take care of business. Just from some of those early conversations you've had with your parents about what an athlete should be, how they should conduct themselves on the field, what were some of those lessons?
Just to stay tough, never give up, and always go out hard and never die, really. You always want to be your competitor and do all you can, because when you look back, you don't want to regret anything. But the tackling, that comes from my brother, since my mom, he always tells my mom, he tried to make me a boy when I was little, so it didn't work, but I do have some of the toughness.
Great form, execution, and incredible delivery on the tackle, which was documented on camera by your dad. Phil just had his 52nd birthday. Oh, what is a DeLorenzo birthday party like?
It's pretty exciting. We have the Italian family that comes over. It's loud, it's fun, but we also have the quiet, just the intermediate family, and it's nice. So.
Well, this is going to be an exciting year for Carly. Of course, looking at just what this team accomplished last year, the conclusion of the season, and what the expectations are, they're pretty powerful. The key is consistency. You had a 500 record in conference, turned it on in the tournament. How do you take that special formula, which almost led to an NCAA tournament, and get it for the whole year?
Hopefully, like you said, no drama. That always helps with softball. With a bunch of girls, you always have drama, but we're trying to cut it out. We have a lot of good things going on this year, and Coach D always has some things up his sleeve to get us going, so I'm excited.
Coach D is ready. He's got his candy stockpile refilled in the office. It's in season when they are brimming with Skittles in Coach D's office. Carly, thanks for chatting with us.
Thank you.
It's Carly DeLorenzo at the ASC softball team.